how to help my 3 and 4-year-old with reading comprehension. Hey there, I'm Charlotte McCullough teaching for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, I know you may not be thinking reading comprehension, but you might be thinking, well, how do I keep them motivated and engaged in the learning? And it's not just in learning to read the book, but it's also in getting them to really engage with the material. Okay, so today that's what we're going to be looking at. Now, this article or this video really pairs nicely with the 2 previous videos I've done already, which talks about how to help my 3 and 4-year-old with learning the alphabets and also learning how to read. If you'd like to check out the link in the description where it says full episode, go to the introduction. It has links for both of those articles because it's going to be very helpful for you. Now, choosing books that help your children learn how to read is super important. So let's get started with the main steps. The first one is fairly obvious, but we're going to start with that anyway, and it is read aloud. So I want you to be able to read to your children every day. Read books that they find interesting. Find books that they like. When you take them to a library or to a bookstore, ask them what they're interested in, because chances are if you do that, they're going to want to read. And if you've ever seen a child with a book that they're really interested in, they'll be asking you a million questions. So you don't even have to worry about trying to captivate their attention because they're already there. Okay. Number 2 is find age-appropriate books. So if you want them to read along with you, or if you want them to read the book themselves, then you want to be able to pick books where they know about 90% of the words, because if they are, even if you're reading it to them, but they don't understand most of the words, it's going to be very confusing for them. And if they have to stop and ask a question about every single word, it's going to annoy you, and it's also going to take away from them trying to figure out what the underlying meaning of any of that is, because they'd be too focused on the words. So they should be able to read 90% of the words. If you're trying to figure out how to do that, get them to look at the pages and read some of it. Just read 1 or 2 pages to you, and that should be able to give you a gauge of how well they're able to read. Okay. Number 3 is, before I move on, if you're still not sure, talk to your teacher about it, because they'll be able to help you. And if you're a teacher, you might want to just do a quick assessment for them in advance. Number 3 is assess background knowledge. So look at what your child already knows about the book. Talk to them about that. Ask them to look at the pictures. What do you already know about this? If you just look at the cover, if it's about a dinosaur, well, what do we know about dinosaurs? And I can tell you right now, your kids, if they know anything about dinosaurs, they're going to go really far into it. They'll tell you everything under the moon about that topic, because it's going to interest them. Okay, so look at what they already know. Now, I'm not telling you to just stick with that. That's a good starting point, and then you can move on to other books, like maybe the solar system if they're not too familiar with it, and you can build on that, because maybe you've already talked about the Earth as being part of just the Earth, and you can talk about how the Earth is part of the solar system, and so you're building on previous knowledge by now taking it a step further, so they're constantly learning as well. Okay. Number 4 is look for clues. So if you look at the cover of a book, well, what does that tell you about what this book is going to be about? Because at 3 and 4, children, some kids might know how to read some of the words, but they don't know how to read all of it. So you're looking at the pictures and trying to ask them, what do you know about, based on the pictures, what do you think this book's about? Or then you flip through, what do you think this page is about, before you start reading, so that they're already talking to you about what this book is about, and they're already thinking about what the next part of the story is about, because each section is what you're asking them about. Okay. And then at the end of it, well, did what we think about the book come true, or was it slightly different? Did you like the book? Why or why not? So we're constantly asking them questions, and you might want to model it for them as well by asking thought-provoking questions, and either they answer it or you answer it. Now, the 4th one is keep repeating. So this can be pretty boring for many parents, because I've had to read just one book like 10 times in like a day to my son, right? And it was a Halloween book, and my gosh, at first it was great, but then after a while I was like, oh my goodness, stop already. But it keeps them motivated. If they want to read about it, great, because what you can do then is ask them, what did you learn? What new things did you learn from this book? I can guarantee you they'll find a new word or a new something funny in the book that they want to keep on repeating and repeating. So keep repeating the book. Let them enjoy it. It builds their vocabulary, builds their ability to think, builds their ability to learn more. So keep going with it. So let's look at what we've talked about already. Why it's important to really focus on reading comprehension when they're young, because really it builds on, when you start young, it really helps them think about books as they get older, and it'll help them with their textbooks and reading textbooks and any material that they see online and so forth. We've also looked at 5 different ways that we can help our children with reading comprehension. One of them is read alouds. The second is find age-appropriate books. The third is assess background knowledge. The fourth is look for clues. And the fifth is keep repeating. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me. In the meantime, remember to create, experience, and teach from the heart. Take care, my friends. Bye.